Hello and welcome, everyone. It's great to see so many people joining early as well. Uh, Quick one. We're kind of missing Mrs. ChilliChump over here. She's not able to join this morning, unfortunately. This morning for some of you, but she's not here just for the beginning of the stream. Hopefully she'll be here by the time, by the end of the stream, she'll be here, hopefully. We'll see. She's busy driving back from a bit of a trip she took away this weekend. Hey, everyone. Yeah, Grolsch, good to see you on. Stretch on, yeah. It's sad. I think this is the first live stream she's missed. In the beginning, when I was doing live streams, she'd be hidden away. She wouldn't be on camera because she's not really keen on that. But yeah, I think this is the first one. She's actually not here at all for it. So, oh well. I'll try and soldier on. Colleen Krause, good to see you in there. Upstate New York, so 12 p.m. for you, EST. East Yorkshire, Space Chili, good to see you on. Dickie. Yeah, so Mrs. ChilliChump, she was meeting up with a friend this weekend. They had a bit of a girls' weekend away, so I've been on my own all weekend, just catching up on work, doing some work, that sort of thing. And yeah, nice to have her back a bit later on, though. That'll be good. Dickie, yeah, I don't know. I think, honestly, I mean, she's the main reason most of you are here. So, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully you can persevere on and enjoy it. We have got some really good stuff going on in a little while. Of course, we got this interview with my good friend now, actually, Troy Primo. So, a little bit of a heads up there. I'll give some information in just a little while because we still got people coming in. I don't know what's happening with YouTube lately. It's really odd. So at the moment, I think we got 73 viewers in the stream at the moment, if I'm correct. And normally by this time, I mean, there's at least about 100 or so of you. And with this one, of course, I mean, this is a pretty big one, for me at least, but I'm sure a lot of you as well. If you're into chilies, then you should by now know who Troy Primo is and have an appreciation for what he created. But yeah, YouTube's been a bit strange lately. The views and the way that videos are pushed out seems to be changing quite a bit. Who knows? I don't even try and guess about what YouTube are getting up to these days. Paul T. Mac, he just built a new PC. And yeah, Mr. Paul T. Mac, thank you. He actually used all my Amazon links to go and buy his PC, so that's much appreciated. A little bit of affiliate income there. Yeah, it's always appreciated, especially around Christmas time as you guys are doing Amazon shopping. There's usually links inside my YouTube description, so it doesn't cost you anything, but if you click on the links, then anything you buy during that session tends to earn some affiliate income. I'm going to open up a Guinness because I'm a little bit thirsty and I've been looking forward to one of these. Mad Craig, good to see you on. Frank, you didn't get a notification, set a reminder until last moment. This is what I'm saying. I don't understand what is going on with YouTube. I mean, I've put out some decent videos lately, and I can see what happens. You can see that the videos actually don't even get pushed to people with notifications because there's a stat inside YouTube where you can see how many videos or how many people with notifications that it's actually gone to, and then how many of them have actually clicked into the video, and it just seems those numbers are down. Like I said, I'm not going to try and guess. Hopefully it just comes around. I think YouTube's trying to play catch up with TikTok. I actually had a good conversation yesterday with my patrons and YouTube members at an impromptu live stream, and we're talking about the state of YouTube right now, especially with things like shorts. I'm still considering whether I do shorts or not. It doesn't really suit my type of content, but I might do it for things like short questions, things like that. But YouTube seem to be playing a game where they're trying to match what TikTok are doing, because TikTok have got massive reach. It's one of those hugely addictive apps that a lot of people just constantly scroll. And I think it's a mistake if YouTube are trying to match that. Naturally, JB. Yeah, it's a strange one. Like I said, I mean this is a big live stream, and it's not because of me. This specific live stream, having Troy Primo on, and honestly, the conversation that okay, well, let me just give you the breakdown here. There's good news, there's bad news. The bad news is Troy is not going to be live today. There was a little bit of an issue, or not issue. He had there's a big project he's working on at the moment, and there was a last minute call for him to go to this project. And I was only told on Thursday or Wednesday. And there is good news. It's really good news. I had a chat with him. He's a really nice guy, and he managed to. We sorted out to reorganize it. Number one, to actually do a pre-recording. So I've got an amazing amount of pre-recording, because originally we were only going to do 15 minutes in this live stream, but the recording that we've done is well over 2 hours, and there's some juicy stuff in there. Today I'm going to be showing some of that. I've picked out some good parts of that just to give you a good taste of the entire thing. I will release the entire interview on my channel. It'll be on my main channel, but for today there's a good 25-30 minutes of this interview, and you guys are going to love it. Fascinating guy. He's achieved a lot. He's a lovely man as well. So yeah, you guys are really going to enjoy it. Scottish Wildman, do you sell ChilliChump jumpers online, or you could call them chumpers? I think there seems to be a bit of a thing catching on with people online calling my followers or my viewers chumpers, fellow chumpers or ChilliChumpers. So I think that one might be taken, but I like that. That's cool. But yeah, there are ChilliChump jumpers or hoodies actually online. If you look in my main channel, there's a little, I don't know where you'd see it depending on whether you're mobile or not, but there is a link to my merch store, which I have changed to a new merch store recently. I used to use Teespring, but the pricing there was a bit strange. Regardless of where you were in the world, the shipping costs were ridiculous. So yeah, I switched over to someone else. Good quality stuff, really good quality stuff. I was actually losing a bit of faith in Teespring's quality as well, but these new guys, really good stuff. So go have a look. 103, yeah, 103 viewers. So yeah, do click like on the video. Maybe that's what it is. I don't ask for likes and subscribes and smash that button and all that sort of stuff. I don't do that. It's just not my thing. But there's a reason people do it. If you click like on a video like this or one of my other videos that I release, then the YouTube algorithm thinks that there's good engagement with it, and it's going to push it out because it wants other people to engage with it as well. So it really does help. I'm not big on begging for likes and subscribes. Hey, Leighton, good to see you on, mate. Proud to be a chumper. Excellent. So a couple things before I do kick off this interview, which honestly, you guys are going to love it. I had a couple things I'd written down here. So firstly, the ChilliChump Seed Kit. I don't know. Hopefully, you guys have seen the announcement. I've put out a few announcements. I haven't put out a video yet about the ChilliChump Seed Kit, but I have announced what's in it. And yeah, I'll do a video as soon as I receive them. We have some problems with mail here in the UK at the moment. We have some strikes. So if you are getting delays with receiving my seeds and my sources and things like that from my shop, then yeah, just please understand, just have a little bit of patience. There's a lot of strikes going on. I think last week there were only 2 days that the Royal Mail was actually running. I think that was Monday and Friday, so it's a bit of a pain. But yeah, just have a little bit of patience. Hopefully you'll receive your stuff very soon if you have ordered. And there were a lot of orders over the Black Friday sort of week. So thank you guys so much. But ChilliChump Seed Kit is out. If you haven't yet bought ChilliChump Seed Kit, there are still special codes available. I believe Fatali's doing a code right now for 10% off. But an even bigger one is use the code ChilliChump when you check out, and you get €5 off the price of the ChilliChump seed kit. And there's some really great varieties in there. And I also think it's free delivery if you use the ChilliChump code. So just go check that out. But yeah, ChilliChump, ChilliChump, and use that at checkout. I filmed a video today the last bit of the video that I'll be putting out on Friday next week. And it's going to be the finishing off of the monster chili plant I've been growing all year, where I had 2 winners come out and help me pick, as well as Kelly. Kelly came out and helped as well. But I see Kai is in the chat. I'm not too sure if anyone else is. But yeah, it was good fun. But yeah, I filmed in the greenhouse today. I'm obviously not spending as much time in the greenhouse at the moment because it is damn cold. But yeah, I spent a bit of time in the greenhouse, and I think we got one more harvest left. But I filmed the last bit of the video for the Dorset Naga monster chili plant video, and that'll go out next Friday, and you'll get to see the results of that experiment project. But yeah, one more harvest. I'm amazed I've still got chilies, and the plants are still actually not growing, but they're still kind of alive because it is so cold. But yeah, it's definitely counting the days now, because it's starting to smell very musty in there, because obviously my auto vents only open when there's decent weather, when the sunlight the sunshine is out there and things are warm, and obviously those vents are not opening lately. So all that's happening is you have the fans just blowing the musty air around inside the greenhouse. So I could leave windows or doors open, but I think it's just time to clear the greenhouses out, and we'll get that done. Okay, one last thing for Miss Felicity. I have a saved repeating calendar entry for the first Sunday of every month, so I get reminders 50 minutes and 5 minutes for the live stream. There you go. Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, the other thing is as well, we have Simplify Gardening. We have Tony from Simplify Gardening. I have a chat with him every now and then, because we're good mates, and we were talking about why I moved my live streams to my second channel. Obviously, that'll limit how many people get notifications, right? It hasn't affected things for the last couple of live streams. I still had over 150 to 200 viewers on each of the live streams. So I don't think that's entirely it. But the reason I moved over to the second channel with the live streams is because live streams, at least until recently, live streams have been known to kill a channel, because basically the way it works is if you have a bell icon, if you tick the bell icon to be alerted to all my videos, and let's say you aren't able to view one of my live streams, or you just don't have time to sit there and watch an hour of me jabbering, or it's just not your thing, but you want to watch all my other videos, if you don't click on watch now when that alert comes up, then Google or YouTube next time won't send you an alert. Right? And that was happening. I mean, I get about 200, 300 people watching my live streams on my main channel when I was doing it on there. And all that was happening is, it was just killing the bell icon algorithm. So yeah, it didn't quite make sense. And that's why I moved over to the second channel. But maybe after having this conversation with Tony, and I'll have more of a conversation with him, might move it back to the main channel. But yeah, I'm in no rush to do that. What's nice with having it on the second channel is I don't mark it as unlisted after it's completed. I leave it open. If you guys want to come watch them again, you can. If you want to watch on repeat, or people that don't have time to watch it the first time around. I wasn't doing that on the main channel because, again, that would do some weird things on the YouTube algorithm. When people get suggested a video like a live stream of mine and they have no idea who I am, believe me, they aren't going to be interested in watching a live stream, right? Anyway. So that's that. I'll stop going on a little rant there. I want to say a big congratulations again to the winners of the Big and Tall competition. That's Steen with the 489 gram Spanish Giant, and Brett with the longest chili. He got the 402 millimeter Thunder Mountain Longhorn. Both amazing chilies. That 489 gram Spanish Giant, that was huge. Now, obviously the video I put out, I did say it was a world record, and I still believe it is, strictly speaking. The way that Guinness differentiates between a bell pepper and a chili makes no sense to me. So the bell pepper record is something like 780 grams or something like that. And then the biggest chili is 460 grams. Now, obviously, 489 grams is bigger than the biggest chili. And then you've got to think about, well, how is Guinness deciding that a bell pepper is a bell pepper and a chili is a chili? So maybe I was a little bit cheeky there. I could have done it a little bit differently, but hey, it is what it is. It gets people clicking in, and still, regardless of what you think, it's still an hugely impressive chili. So the biggest chili has been for the last couple of years in Guinness has been the poblano, which is a capsicum anum. Now, the Spanish giant, which Steen grew, is also capsicum anum. So how do you say, why do you say that the Spanish giant is a pepper or a bell pepper compared to something like a poblano? Is it because it has no heat? If that's the case, then are we saying that every chili that has no heat is now a bell pepper? Again, that doesn't make sense. So yeah, anyway, it's just a weird one. I'll never quite understand, but regardless, well done to both of you. Amazing chilies. Yeah, very well done. And we'll get your prizes out to you very soon. Oh, Deadly 0101. You don't have as many subs on the channel. That's correct. But there's still the people that generally watch my live streams, and I can always recognize the names. I can see lots of names that I recognize almost every other time. Those people are subscribed to my second channel. And like I said, I'm not expecting 4,000 people to watch my live stream. I think that would be a little overwhelming anyway. But it's, still, 200 subscribers or 200 viewers at least you'd expect to be watching now. And again, not blowing my trumpet or anything. That's not what I'm doing here at all. It's just it's generally the 200 people for the last 12 live streams that I've done before I moved to the second channel, or before the last couple. I had 200 at least. I never went below that. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see what we do in the future. Regardless, it's just great spending time with you guys. And you get to watch this amazing interview. So anyway, let's sit back and enjoy this. So before we get into it, obviously I go into it in the interview. But Troy Primo, in case you don't know, Troy Primo created the 7-pot Primo. And there's been a lot of controversy over the years about certain other varieties, and we do address this in this in this video. And in the full video, obviously, we go into a lot more detail about it, and I will release that in the future as well. But you get a good view of the thinking, well, my thinking as well as Troy's thinking. And it was just such a pleasure to be able to chat with Troy and talk about things that I've been talking about long before I had my YouTube channel, stuff that I'd researched, stuff that I'd known about, read about in newspapers and things like that. And now I get to get it from the horse's mouth. It was awesome. Anyway, enough of that. Let's move on and watch some interview. Troy, it is such a pleasure to meet you. You've been one of my chili heroes for a long time. I know that probably isn't too comfortable to hear, but
how much I owe you some money for that one, man. No,
honestly, I've known about you for such a long time, long before I started my YouTube channel, and your chili, the 7-pot Primo, which we will talk about, is my favorite super hot. It's painful. Hurts a lot, but it's an awesome relationship. Yeah. So I don't know if you wanted to introduce yourself a little bit, just a little bit of background, who you are.
Well, yeah. I mean, first of all, thanks. I appreciate that, the kindness and the belief in my pepper and the love for it. Everybody. It's humbling. It's something that you just kind of like pick out of the ether. Like when you're making hot sauce or you're making peppers, you're crossing peppers, just grabbing it out of the cosmos, and it's here, and then you birth it, and then people pay their hard-earned money to buy it or to love it, to share it, to bring it into their life, to bring them happiness.
I think you're being a little bit humble there. There's a lot of work that went into that chili, I'm sure, and I'd love to.
It's a lot. It's a lot of work, but it's something that you don't take for granted. You know, it's like it takes a little luck, a little know-how, and a whole lot of passion to get something done, and you'll do well. You know, and you won't have regrets. So it's a long explanation for me just saying I'm grateful for you enjoying the pepper, and, you know, what it means to you.
And it's not just me. There's millions of others that are absolutely loving the 7 Pot Primo. And if I can get even one more viewer today to go and try it out, then I've done my job here, I think.
Yeah,
but before we go into the peppers, sorry, I'm calling them peppers because you're calling them peppers. But before we get into that too much, there's a lot more to you as well. I heard that you're in a band, or you're still in a band. I know you have been in the past.
We're kind of like on you know, this perpetual, you know, kind of say like moratorium sometimes. You know, it's like we were jamming back in the day, you know, back in the 90s, and did pretty well. We made Classic Rock Magazine, which is over there on your side of the pond. And this band called Santeria, you know, it's like this southern psychedelic stoner rock band, kind of like Soundgarden meets like Pink Floyd-ish and a little swampadelic. You know, that's where I got the hot sauce name from. We used to call our music swampadelic. And we did pretty good. You know, we did some tours. We put out some albums. And at some point, our drummer got hit by an 18-wheeler head on, broke just about every bone in his body, which is a pun intended, a hard break for a drummer. And I ended up, I had met a good girl, you know, Kara. She's my wife now, but I had met a good girl, and she just got tired of seeing me in my underwear drinking beer on the couch with an afro. When I had hair.
So now you just got rid of the afro, and now you're still doing on the couch.
I'm still doing the same thing. No. She's like, no, I think you'd be good in school. So you can blame her for the pepper, because I started school in nursing, and I'm getting off subject, but you know, I worked in the horticulture department as a work study student because I had a grant, you know, and they kind of give you a little job. And I was working in the horticulture department, which wasn't my major. My major was nursing, and picking the brains with the horticulturist across the hallway about crossing peppers and emasculation and, you know, just organic growing, and just for the love of doing it. Because what can I do at this point that's rock and roll in my backyard that's legal? And I missed it. I missed the thrill of it all, the excitement, the danger, there's a lot of parallels between the music and the pepper industry, or peppers in general. But yeah, so we still kind of get together every now and then and do something, and we've got the music's out there, and it's great. But you know, my buddy Deej, the lead singer, he kind of started doing his own thing, which is like psychedelic dobro kind of blues. And I produced a couple of his albums. You know, we mixed and produced them and put them out on our record label. We have a small independent label. It doesn't really license anybody else but ourselves. You know, we just kind of put out our albums. It's just so we could do that. And yeah, Quentin Tarantino picked up one of his songs for Django Unchained. Got a little bit of mailbox money on that, and I wish he'd pick up more of them. But it's like, you know, so. It was all done just out of love and fun, and you know, we thought it was good stuff, you know, and maybe we were biased, but we put it.
I could talk to you all day about the stuff in your past and all that, but I know that the people watching are definitely going to want to know a lot more information about the time that you did go to university. Now, I believe it was Lafayette, right?
Lafayette, ULL, University of Louisiana at Lafayette. They've changed their name so many times, but that's the current one. But
so yeah, that was where you were when you discovered the 7 Pot Primo. I mean, so you talked a little bit.
It, but yeah, that was
where you created it. It's always a tough one. How do you say? I mean, it's not like you invented it, but you created it. It's
created it. Yeah, I mean, just little help from the cosmos and the
So when you did that, that wasn't your first cross? I'm guessing you must have had a few.
No, that was it. That was it.
So if I remember, well, from the work I've done on this, and obviously what I know about the 7-pot Primo, it's a cross between a Trinidad 7-pot and a Naga. Is it a Naga?
Yep. Naga.
Nagamarik's a great chili, by the way. It's
oh man, it's exceptional. It's still
massive,
one of my favorites.
massive trees in there. So you crossed those two, and was that because those are the two that you thought, well, these are both hot chilies. Let's see what we can get from it.
Yeah, pretty much. It was pretty naive. I was a student. I wasn't a horticulture student yet. I was still a nursing student, and just picking the brain of the professors across the hallway from my job, which I was, I had a work-study job. I was fortunate to have a full paid grant to go to school because I was late in life and was broke, and I'm thankful that I had that opportunity. But I was working in an office, and across, I was a nursing student doing great at nursing, but something in my soul just didn't feel right. I wanted to nurture things, just not necessarily human beings. But I passed all my classes and clinicals, and at some point I just switched. But I was working in that department, and I had obtained the Naga Morich seeds like 2005-ish from a grower.
That's a good question. Start at that stage. It was 2005 that you did the cross, right?
Right. So there's a guy selling seeds for his website, right? And he sold I don't know how many sets. I think it was 10 sets of seeds to fund his website. And most for $40 for 10 seeds. It might have been, I can't remember.
I don't think people realize how lucky they have it today with how cheap seeds can get. Because I remember when the Butchalokia, when that was a thing back in 2006, when it hit the world records. Oh man, you're paying £2 a seed, easy. Or $2 a seed.
$40 for 10 seeds. My wife was like, "Why do you want that?" I'm like, "Why not? It's supposedly one of the hottest chilies in the world." And people might have been growing it in the States, but it was just kind of probably just backyard people not sharing them. I had never heard of it. I was on the chili pepper forum, and but I obtained a set, and I'm thinking I was about one of the only ones in North America to have a set of those seeds. And I ended up selling Naga seeds on eBay. I grew it out. I was able to grow it out, sell seeds. And about that time, I made the cross with the 7-pot Primo, or 7-pot, came from...
which 7-pot? Because, I mean, obviously there's a lot of different 7-pots that you get out there today. 7-pot habanero or whatever. The 7-pot that you're talking about, do you know what type?
I don't know. It looked like a Moruga. It didn't have a stinger. It was just a regular 7-pot. It looked like a Congo, kind of like the old Congo peppers.
Those Congo chilies are hot.
Yeah, it was round, and it had some warts, but not a lot. Not as many as Primo today or anything. But it was obtained from Dr. Dennis Woolard's friend, who was also a professor that went to Trinidad, and he got it in a market from an old lady vendor. So I don't know what was DNA, open pollinated, whatnot. I don't know, but I did conduct the proper emasculation crossing technique between that peppers.
That's the method you used. You took the stamen off and
correct.
Grabbed. Okay, and which one was
I say no one does, but
well, I do it. That's the way I do it. That's the only way to do it. I see too many people saying, "Oh no, I just rub the two flowers together."
You can't quantify your cross like that, man. You can't in that other guy that the other guy out east. I saw a video of him doing that, and I'm like,
that's not how you cross. That's just called open pollination. That's called luck of the draw.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know if that flower, if a bee went there before you. You don't know if that plant has self-pollinated before you showed up. You can't quantify your cross. Therefore, you can't say this is the mother and this is the father. You can't.
Which were the mother and the father in that cross, in the 7-pot Primo, the original one?
So it was the 7-pot from Trinidad, the seeds obtained from a professor friend, and the Naga.
So which one was with the father? Which one was mother? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I can't remember. I want to say the Naga, but it was I didn't keep any notes on all this stuff. I should have. If I do it over again, I say that. I also say, oh,
Can
man,
lightning strike in the same place twice?
Yeah, I would do that. I'd go for a patent. I'd do the trademark. I'd do all this stuff. And then, but that's not what I'm about. That Karma sauce? I like Karma sauce. Gene at Karma, he's a former NASA engineer, scientist, worked on the Hubble optics, and now he's a hot sauce maker out of New York State.
Bit of a change.
He's still good. He makes some good sauces. His Ghost Island sauce is like Fatali, Ghost, and Scorpion, mustard base, kind of like Caribbean sauce. Is my favorite sauce. Like my favorite sauce right now.
I gotta look him up.
I'm like, that's one of those recipes. I'm like, dude, I wish I made that shit. And I'm gonna make one eventually, but I'm not gonna rip them off. But I'm gonna make one with Primo, and that's on my agenda. It's just amazing. But he's got one I think it's called Burn After Eat. It's one of those hot one sauces, and I think it's got the Reaper in it or something. But it's I've tasted it, and it's got an Indian vibe, Eastern Indian vibe.
Cumin.
Cumin. I think it has cardamom too. So maybe, and it wasn't. I don't recall it being that bitter at all either. But I remember a very kind of it has asafida on it. Did I say that right?
What's that?
Is it asafida? Asafida? It's look it up, man. I'm probably saying it all wrong, but my Cajun.
I'm the king of mispronouncing things.
Well, it's Eastern Indian, so it's it's something they add to some of their dishes, and it's really it's got a very sulfuric smell to it, and it's quite something. It's very powerful. But look that up. If I had the bottle right here, I'd go look it up.
Well, you mentioned hot ones. There's a question I have to ask, and I know people in the comments would be asking this as well. What is your opinion on the Pepper X? Does it exist?
Pepper X?
Do you think it exists? I have my opinions on this.
I think it's probably. Well, let's see. Does the pepper exist, or do the
does the pepper exist with the claims that have been made about such pepper?
I don't think it's that high. But I have a reason to disbelieve anybody that makes a claim that has a hot pepper like that and doesn't show the data, or you don't see, or Guinness is going to award this and it never happened. So I think the pepper exists. I just don't think it's that hot. That's just my opinion. I have no data to say that. Some people say it's even before it came out, man, I had people telling me, oh, that's your mustard mama and this and that. I don't know. I don't know. I think I've seen the pepper. It looks kind of like it, but looks can be deceiving. So I'm not going to go there, but I will say that anybody, I don't care if it's Ed Curry or a backyard grower, and they say they got a 3 million Scoville pod, I'm like, let me see the data.
Because you've seen a 2 million Scoville pod, and you can see just what goes into that. To get a 3 million,
I don't even know if it's possible.
I don't think it is. I think we're at the realms of possibility around about 2.2, maybe 2.4 as a realistic.
As an outlier, and probably not as a freaking.
As in one or two on that plant happen to be at that level. But
dude, you know what I want to do, and and you might. We might have talked about this already, but I've always said, man, it'd be nice to start a nonprofit or something to test pods, and you submit a fee or whatever, and you have a couple of labs test it. Third party. I'm not involved in it. Maybe I can consult, but I don't want to be that close to it. So everybody says it's just Primo doing it, out for his own interest or something. But for everybody.
But make it accessible. Yeah.
Make it accessible so okay, this pod was this hot, and so tested it. Here's your breakdown of the capsaicinoids. This is the mother, father. And you do that, and that third party kind of makes this list so that whenever you have all these media outlets, and this is what chaps my ass, so you got all these media outlets, and they'll have the Reaper 2.2 million or whatever, and then the Primo well, if I make the list, half the time I don't make the list. They don't even know who I am. But let's say they put the Primo 1.5 or 1.4.
Yeah, but
they're comparing an outlier with an average.
Comparing the highest ever rating of a Reaper.
It happens all the time.
Mid. Yeah.
And then they'll even take what somebody said, the creator of these pods, be it Ed or anybody.
Like the Dragon's Breath.
Yeah, they'll take their word for it, and they won't do their due diligence to check it out or ask that person for that. They'll just say they'll find it from a online source or whatever, and they'll put that number in there. And I'm just like, dude, that's not science. And it's not even good reporting. And it drives me crazy. So I would personally like to see some kind of like standard. Not everybody would do it, but I mean, let's just.
But if it's accessible enough, if it's cheap enough, then there's no excuse to say, oh, I just don't have the money to go to a university to get it HPLC tested, right?
Which is nothing, like $60 or something, man.
Yeah.
You know, 60, maybe it went up a little bit with the inflation, but you know.
The other trick there, so I'll tell a little story from my end here. I worked with a company, and I don't want to give too much away because I ended up canceling the video. I didn't put it online because of some of the issues here. I didn't want their business to fail. Basically, they had come up with a machine that would allow a home user, someone like you, someone like me, to test the Scoville rating of a chili or of a sauce. Sounds amazing, right? And it would be incredible. So I went around to their lab and I took some of my sauces. One of my sauces was a 7-pot Primo sauce that I'd made, which was, I mean, even on the low end, I've never had a 7-pot Primo that is below $1 million, I'm sure, right? I mean, yeah. So I brought this sauce, and that's all it was. It was Primo with a little bit of vinegar to water it down a little bit. And anyway, they used this machine. They showed me all the science and that, and they showed it with Tabasco. And I'm like, okay, that's impressive. I can see the number then. I know what Tabasco's rating should be. And then I brought a few of mine. I had a few of my sauces up there. And one of them was 7-pot Primo. So he used a bit of this, tested it, and he's like, yeah, that's 400 Scoville. I'm like, yeah, that's not 400 Scoville. And again, it's back to what we were saying before about the different alkaloids, right? If you're measuring just for one specific alkaloid, it might not be in the chinense, right?
If you had like pure Primo in there, it should have been higher than that, way higher. Now, sauce will test lower than like pod.
Of course, but not that much lower. I mean, it would be at least 300,000, 400,000.
Yeah, that sounds kind of low. That sounds excessively low.
But anyway, the best part was, so you're saying it was less heat than the Tabasco, and I've got this on video. And one day, maybe
the Tabasco. Oh, that box ain't worth shit.
But
you know, whatever.
So I've actually got this on video. I said to him, come on, you're telling me this is less heat, right? So try the Tabasco. You can have the Tabasco, right? Yeah, I can do Tabasco. He took a teaspoon of the Tabasco. And I said, okay, now try this one. And he did. He was on fire. He had never had something so hot. And the reaction, I got it on camera as well.
You got to go back to the drawing board here, Johnny.
But he still kept on insisting that I was wrong. He had it then he had it tested on the HPLC. And here's the other problem. If you don't have the right expertise.
Column too.
Yeah, you need to have the right expertise to be able to test it, know what you're testing for and how you're testing it, and test it in a properly scientific manner. Because he tested it, and again, it came out weird. It was still a bit higher than what he had said, but it was still ridiculously low. Like, I think it was under 50,000. And I'm like, yeah. So I think your idea is amazing, but again, there's not going to be every university that has an HPLC that will be able to do it effectively.
You would have to like let's say Southwest Biolabs and then another, you know, or if you want to do two sources, you could do that, or just one lab like that. Southwest Biolabs is an accredited, like, very, you know, Chili Pepper Institute tests their pods there, and it's I've been testing there for a long time. It's inexpensive. If I would have known it was that inexpensive, I would have had the Primo tested like way early on and just been way ahead of the game. I was thinking it was thousands of dollars. Now genetics is thousands of dollars, and I almost did that at the university. Peeps over there up, man.
Absolutely. I want more people to grow it. It is a fantastic chili. It really is. It's one of the nicest flavored as well. Is as hot as it is. A lot of these super hots that are coming out today, I mean, there's some amazing ones. I don't know if you've tried the Primo Tali.
I haven't had it.
That's
Johnny
the hottest
told
chili
me,
I've ever had in my entire life.
Johnny told me it was probably the hottest. I want to see it tested. I wonder what. Like,
I'd
I
love
wonder
to
if
see it. Yeah, I think there's. Sorry, I was going to say that I think there's some element of it that. So obviously, you know, with chilies, the capsaicin, it's not just one type of capsaicin. Yeah. There's like 3 or 4 different markers there. And I think
we're like on the same wavelength here, man. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I think there's something in there that's maybe a bit of a, what do you call it? A hybrid sort of thing going on. Some sort of interesting thing. Because honestly, the pain, it doesn't taste great. But my living, it was agony. I did it on a live stream, and I couldn't talk for 10 minutes. It was not great.
Well, Johnny told me it was the hottest pot he had. And
it's Johnny Scoville, right?
Johnny Scoville. It's got my name in it, so that's good. So, I'm just like, I mean, who doesn't like to see their name in lights? But I think, without testing it, I don't know. But I know the Fatali has some dihydrocapsaicin, the alkaloids. If people don't know what like the pepper alkaloids are, there's several, but you can test for the major ones like at Southwest Biolabs in Las Cruces. You can do an HBLC and do an upcharge for the capsaicinoid testing. And it'll break down dihydrocapsaicin, which is the one everybody kind of knows. And, when people say capsaicin and you're looking at a SHU, it's really a broader picture. There's all these subclassifications in there that get lumped in as capsaicin. But all those little alkaloids change the way we perceive heat. So, like an annuum, it hits you in the face and it burns and it's gone. Chinense is like creeps up and it lasts longer. Ricotta, you got pubescents have a different vibe too.
I don't like the heat. I can handle the heat of a Chinense, but the pubescents,
it's weird.
It's a different type of heat.
I got a gut bomb on a Ricotta, and I was almost embarrassed to talk about it. But it was like, they're like, a Ricotta? I was like, man, I don't know if it was the morning, or I just didn't have my stomach primed up, but it was like a knife in my gut for forever. But it's a weird burn, and I don't know what alkaloid that is specifically. But I do know John Hard, K-John, K-John fame, it told me that he had the Fatali tested once, and it had a lot of dihydrocapsaicin. And surprisingly, it tested a lot lower than everybody thought. So
it's about 800, isn't it? It's about 800,000.
Yeah, I think it was like 700 or 800. It was like really low. And it ended up maybe even lower than that. I can't remember what amount he told me, but I was kind of shocked by it. But it ended up like, it's a deceiving thing. It's like the big mustard mama, the big black mama, all those peppers that I've done. They don't test that high, 1.1, 1.2. I mean, high enough, but
the big black mama is that's painful. I did that on a live stream as well. That one, it's like a hammer to the back of the throat.
Yeah, that's the battery acid dihydrocapsaicin. Yeah. So when people tell you, and there's a lot of controversy about the mustard pods and all that, and what looks like a mustard mama these days, but I've never seen one test that high, and I'd like to see one test that high, like, be it Pepper X or whatever, mustard pod. Cause I mean, I'm just straight up. Look, dude, I have to see the data. You can call up Southwest Biolabs right now and say you want to look at Primo's data. Have them call me. You can look at it.
Well, on that note, so, I mean, let's go back to that, because I got a ton of questions for you that I don't want you to drop off before I get to them.
No,
you have had it tested. When did you get that tested? Was that when it was at F7?
I can't remember, man.
Because it tested over 1.5 million, right?
Yeah, it was 1.5. The first one was 1.47, something, and it beat the Butch T. But Guinness didn't award me because, I didn't go through the process. Guinness is
you didn't pay the big money that Guinness was asking for.
Yeah, it's weird. If they approach you, I think it's free. but if you approach them, you pay, and that amount, I know Ed is, I don't know what Ed, I don't know if Ed said it or I heard Ed say it.
Pepper Joe was talking all
20
about how much it
grand,
cost.
it's 10 grand, 20 grand. I don't know how much it is, but it's supposedly a lot of money. And then there's a reoccurring like revenue stream that if you want to get them at the Guinness representatives at your event, you know, that's a fee. If you use their logo on your website, that's a fee from my understanding. So I didn't go about that route, and it beat Butch T. And then shortly after, there was a guy named Ed Curry that came out with the Carolina Reaper. And I'm like, this looks a lot like Primo.
Okay, well, let's get on to that, because we keep skirting this a little bit. But I have some questions.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I'm not like, I don't lose sleep over this. So this just look for disclosure, folks. Ed and I, you know, we get along. We're Facebook friends. And I'm cordial. I mean, we all get along, and I don't lose sleep over this kind of stuff. And I can't say definitively anything.
No, nobody can, right? But
no,
I wanted to put a few things forward. I mean, you've been growing Chili's for a long time, and growing's that's putting it mildly. You've been passionately working with Chili's for many years, right? And some of the things I'm going to mention now, I just want to get your take on it, because I've had this question since I first read an article that put these things all together. So you mentioned the Butch T. So Ed, when he came out of the Carolina Reaper, there was a lot of marketing going on. And that's one thing you can say about Ed. He is fantastic at marketing. Yeah. But there were many interviews with him, and the amount of different things that he said made up the Carolina Reaper is just a little confusing. Number one, the first thing you're saying, so when I say Butch T, he did say that it was a Butch T cross with... it wasn't a Butch T. First of all, he said that he took a sweet hot pepper from the Caribbean and worked to make it hotter, right? That was in 2013. In 2014, he says that there's something called the Sufria pepper from the Caribbean island of St. Vincent and the Naga pepper from Pakistan. And he combined those. Before that, he said, this was 2012, now he said that they are an Asian, sub-Asian descent, and both are hot, so the two different varieties. So from sub-Asian to Asian, and then through to the Caribbean. Anyway, there's a lot of things going back and forth there.
Yeah. You followed the history, and that's see, that doesn't really.
It doesn't fill me with confidence, and that's why I question it a little bit.
It just means all I can say is that I've stuck to my story, one story, and you know, the other story is changed.
You don't have to explain yourself. I mean, there's a reason that
I don't know.
I'm talking to you right now, and I'd love to talk with Ed if he ever wanted to give some explanations here. It'd be amazing.
Absolutely, because I think everybody's got a right to defend themselves and have an opinion.
It's not that he has to defend it. Listen, I don't hate Ed. I have no problem with him. I think he does amazing stuff for the Chili community in bringing awareness to people that are not in the Chili community. Ultimately, where that leads to, and whether it's negative or positive, so be it. But one thing I did have a question about. So the Carolina Reaper came out. Before that, though, there's lots of rumors online saying that you had sent him the 7-pot Primo. Did you send it to him, or did he get hold of it somewhere else, or is that the theory?
No, I didn't really. I've never sent. I don't recall sending him any seeds.
Okay.
You know, he when I met Ed for the first time in Lafayette, we had a festival here that was largely a washout. Man, it rained the whole time, and at that festival, it must have been, I don't even remember what year that was, 2015 maybe. You know, 14. I have to look, but I met Butch T. I met Ed Curry. I met Jim Duffy. I met John Hard. I met Gary Montcalm. I know I'm forgetting somebody. I met a lot of people, a lot of friends I'm still friends with, like Chris Dennis, and they're just good peeps. But met a lot of important people at that kind of like festival. And when I met Ed, he told me he had bought Naga seeds from me. And I couldn't find any record of that. I looked it up because I was curious.
Well,
he told me a few things like horticulturally, like some of his practices that I was just kind of scratching my head on. But
well, he mentioned he said that he had the Naga Viper. He said that was one half of it in one of his interviews that he did. But the Viper,
but that's Primo, right? Viper in the Viper, a Primo something else cross.
Well, this is the thing. The Viper had only been around for 2 years at that point, and he said he had been working on this since 2006, I think it was.
Man, I think he actually said he was working on peppers in the 80s, dude.
Well, no, he said in 1983, I think it was 1983 or 1986, he said that he was going to create the hottest pepper in the world and he was going to cure cancer. So, yeah. Listen, he's.
I just want people to know at the end of the day, I know I can't please everybody and I shouldn't even try. But I don't lose any sleep at night over this. But this is a big part of my life. You can draw your own conclusions. You can, I noticed that when I used to drink wine and stay up late on Facebook, I'd get in a lot of trouble, And so it's like Ed and I were having a divorce and the kids didn't want to see us fight. So I've since, backed away from that, but I'm involved in some things now I can't talk about, like some projects that I've had to talk about things a little bit more or wanted to let it be known, and that's okay. It's okay. I mean, I'm still just all about, like, people can coexist. You can have Ford, you can have Chevy, but this is my story. And just know that Primo's not trying to make you do anything. It's just my opinion. But I really, really wish that you love my pepper. And if you love that,
I do, and I know a lot of other people that do.
If it brings you happiness, I've accomplished something. And that's it.
Thank you so much. Y'all. I really appreciate all the time today. That's been awesome. Thank you.
Well, you've been awesome, dude. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Right? And best of luck. God bless.
So, what did you guys think? Obviously we have to be careful with some of the things we say, especially asking him questions. I don't want to put him on the spot. I don't want to get into trouble. Before I carry on with that, hello, Mrs. ChilliChump.
Hey.
So there's a reason I like the underdog, and I consider Troy the underdog. But not for the normal reasons. I say he's the underdog because he created something amazing in the 7-pot Primo, and there are some interesting things that I talk about in this interview as well. So when you watch the full one, you'll get some more of the insights, some more of the stuff that's out there about this situation. One of the things that Ed Curry said when he announced the Carolina Reaper, he was talking about, I crossed these chilies and I ended up, after F1, I ended up with this chili. It was the first time I'd ever seen a chili with a stinger. Now, this was when the Butch T was the biggest, or the hottest chili in the world, right? That was when it was the world record. And Ed claims, whatever. He said that he has grown chilies for decades, right? I mean, he's so involved in the community and so involved in growing and stuff like that. You'd know that there are other chilies out there with stingers. So regardless of whether he's lying about that or not, whether he's trying to hide the fact that he had seen something like the 7-pot Primo, I don't know. There's a lot to the story. I really feel bad for Troy. Ed has made, obviously, a fantastic amount of money off the Carolina Reaper and still does to this day. Some of the stories I've heard, actually, since I mean, it's not like this drama just happened in 2007 or 8, 9, 10 when the HB22B1 or whatever it was, codenamed before it became the Carolina Reaper, when that was announced and been talked about by people like Ed Curry and, of course, the biggest showman in the world, Pepper Joe. They were advertising this big time and talking about it in all the forums and stuff like that about the hottest chili in the world. You know, they've done a lot at that stage, but even today there's still stuff going on. It's a shame. It's a shame. You know, you got to acknowledge when people have achieved something, and I believe Troy achieved something amazing, regardless of what you believe of the situation. You know, the 7-pot Primo is still absolutely my favorite super hot chili. You'll see in the interview, in the full one when you watch that, the actual the 7-pot Primo that he's growing. If you go and look at his website, Primo's Peppers, if you are in the UK, he only sells to the UK right now. I did try and convince him to sell internationally, so we'll see if that comes around. But he is selling to the US at the moment, and if you go there, man, those Primos look incredible. Well, you saw it at the end of the interview. I did post up a picture of it. It's a stunner. It really is. And I'm looking to get some seeds. He's going to send me some. He's also going to send me some of his sauces. And I'll be trying those on my checking out hot sauces videos. I'm a bit scared of that because I know they're going to be hot. So yeah, go check it out. Daniel, good stuff. Go support Troy Primo, please. The guy's incredible. What people don't seem to understand, and this is something where I have a bigger appreciation, not just the fact that I love the chili he's created, but that chili sparked off. And now whether the Carolina Reaper is a Primo or not, regardless of that, the 7-pot Primo is the reason that we're looking at some chilies like the Primo Tali, which is insanely hot. I still have a little bit of the chili because I was drying some seeds. This is the chili that I ate on my live stream, or the bit that's left over. I've got some seeds in there that I'm going to keep. That thing is insanely hot, but it comes from the Primo. And yeah, we've got a lot to thank for there. So anyway, I don't want to go into too much more about the interview itself because I will be releasing the full thing. Like I said, 2 hours long. I might need to split it out into 1 hour and 1 hour. Troy is a fantastic storyteller, and we spent a lot of time in the beginning, like you could see in the beginning of this interview that I showed you today on the live stream. We spent quite a bit of time talking about his personal stuff. He's super passionate about music. He actually sent me over some music, and it's cool stuff. I love Creedence Clearwater Revival, that sort of thing. And yeah, I think he calls it swamp rock, but it's good stuff. And yeah, I was quite impressed. And the fact that one of his songs that's not his song specifically, but his record label that he runs, one of his songs actually got into Django Unchained. That is cool. That is really cool. So very interesting guy. And yeah, it's a good interview. He's just, yeah. One thing I did say to him, I said, listen, you let me down. You let my viewers down. I want to have you back. We need, the viewers want to ask you questions, I'm sure. So you got to come back for another live stream. And he agreed. So thank you, Troy. I'm holding you to that. We're going to have him over at least. It won't be another interview like that because that was pretty in-depth. But I'm sure we'll get into some questions if you guys have questions for him about crossing. You heard him talking. I mean, he was doing things with crossing with chilies, long before people like myself were on the scene and talking about this stuff. I mean, the information that I had learned about is probably secondhand, thirdhand, fourthhand from stuff that he's put out there. So, I'm thankful for that as well. But lovely guy, and we'll get him back for a live stream in the future as soon as his big project that he's working on. And yeah, that's something I can't talk about. He did tell me a little bit about it, but cool stuff coming down the line from that. Anyway, there were some questions that were asked during the live stream. Saw a couple interesting ones there. Let's have a look. Chronomus89. I asked this question for you twice a year. What do you think is the most underrated chili and what is the most overrated? Well, chili, the interview kind of answers that question. I think the 7-pot Primo is the most underrated chili out there. And the most overrated, I absolutely think, is the Carolina Reaper. I've never had luck. I mean, we did talk about this again on the interview. I did talk about the fact that I have grown it a few times. I've never had a great harvest. I've never had a very healthy plant. Maybe that's just because of the seeds I got, and maybe because I'm a little bit biased. But yeah, that's my answer for there. So nice and easy there. I did see, sorry, I can't believe I missed this. Mad Murdog, Shane, thank you so much for sending across $50. That is hugely appreciated. Thank you, sir. Happy holidays to Mr. and Mrs. ChilliChump. You guys are awesome. You're awesome, Shane, and thank you for your support. Shane's been a supporter for a very long time, and I really do appreciate that. So next question down. Let's see. Mad Craig asks, any chance of changing the member perks from ChilliChump to ChilliChump 2? I missed my monthly tip. My monthly tip? What's a monthly tip? Oh, I don't even know what that is. Yeah, well, so if I do switch my live streams back to ChilliChump 1, then that should all be okay. Let's talk. Obviously, you're on my Discord, so we'll have a chat, and I'll give you some ideas of what I'm trying to do. Barry Christian, your 5 must-grow varieties for next year. Let's keep it simple. Taste. 100% taste for me is the peri peri. Got to grow it every year. I'll also grow the Moz peri peri, so that's like a part of that. Jalapenos, got to have jalapenos. They are seriously tasty and nothing better than a fresh jalapeno. So that's 2. Number 3, you need a super hot, so 7-pot Primo. Make sure you get some because they're awesome. And I think there's some interesting ones in the ChilliChump seed kit, so I'm not gonna talk about those ones because I don't want to be shilling for that. Let's see, number 4. What are we going to do for number 4? KN. I know this is boring, but yeah, KN for taste. But let's put that as part of peri peri. So number 4, let's go with one of the Capsicum pubescens. Those are awesome. They just look great. So something like a ricotta, like Mr. Troy Primo calls them, but ricotta. They're just a beautiful looking plant. The heat of those are a bit strange to me, but yeah, lovely looking plant. And then number 5, Dorset Naga, because like I mentioned in the beginning of the live stream, I'm going to be putting out the final video for my my super sized monster plant that I grew this year. I'll be putting out the final video on Friday, and well, sneak peek, but I will be doing this again next year and using the lessons I've learned from this year. So definitely those. So there you go. There's my 5. 5 is not enough though. I'm probably going to grow fewer varieties than this year, possibly, but still around 60 varieties. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Murdog Shane, do you have an idea when you'll be starting your seeds next year? So again, I do talk about this in the video that's coming out on Friday. I will be starting my seeds the same time as I did last year, so towards the back end of January. However, my Dorset Nagas, one of the lessons I learned there, especially when you're trying to grow a monster plant like that, they need a longer season. And that means I will be starting a few plants, a few that I really want to get early harvest from. I'll be starting them probably 1st or 2nd of January, depending on how hungover I am from New Year's Eve. So January time, but some a little bit earlier than last year. Which sauce was it you brought to test against the Tabasco? So you could see it if you're watching at the beginning of the live stream, the pictures that pop up, there is a picture there from that visit that I did to the lab, and one of the sauces there was a 7-pot Primo sauce. So it's just a very basic 7-pot Primo sauce that I made, but believe me, it was stinking hot. It was just one I made for myself. I still got some in the fridge, actually, that exact bottle, because it is so hot. I use such a tiny bit of it. It's still hot to this day. I think that was 2015, 16? I can't remember exactly right now. 2017. I remember that. It's on the label. That's a great question. Paul, have you considered just moving your chickens into the greenhouse? They'll get some good food and you'll keep them nice and comfortable. Plus, it'll give them extra space to run around. So I don't think they'll be nice and comfortable. It'll still be cold in there, probably a little bit warmer than the cage that they're in right now. But yeah, I have actually considered this. I won't do it while I have plants in there that I'm still harvesting from. I don't think that's good from a health and safety perspective. But as soon as I've picked all my chilies, then yeah, I'll let them go nuts. I'll probably will put them inside the big greenhouse so they have a bit more space to run around. I'll drop a few branches on the ground for them that they can chow because they love eating the leaves from my chili plants. So we'll get that done. Liz Openhouse. I don't know if it was in this clip that I showed today. So Liz asks, wouldn't DNA testing help clear up the pepper provenance? So we did discuss this, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know if I put this in the clip that I showed you guys today, but we did discuss this. It's hugely expensive to do it. And the problem is at this stage, when he first announced it and he came out with the Carolina Reaper, at that stage, listen, Guinness don't give a crap about the reality of the situation. They don't care whether it is real or not. All they care about is it gets Guinness's name in the newspapers, and people like Ed Curry and whoever are going to be going for these records are paying for those records. So, yeah, but if you had tested it back then yeah, from a commercial perspective, if it was able to be proven, if Troy had the money back then to do it, which he didn't. I mean, he was effectively a struggling artist. He wasn't in business or anything like that. Yeah, but if he was able to do it then and able to prove it, then yeah, of course. But it's quite a difficult one to do. So, you know, when you're crossing these varieties, especially if it's open crosses, there's a lot to it. It can be very expensive. And if you do it today, I mean, the seeds that you're growing, the seeds that I'm growing, that 7-pot Primo that is existing today, how do you prove that that is the same one that was there back in 2010 or 2009, right? You can't really prove that unless Troy happens to have seeds from then, and if Ed Curry and whoever else has seeds from the Carolina Reaper from back then. That's the only thing you can really do, but I doubt that's the case. Darwin is the father of genetics. Is there a father of chilies, peppers? The interview got me thinking. Rene Rizzo, father of chili peppers. It'll have to be, what's his name? I know his surname, but give me a second. Is it Graham? Wilbur, Mr. Wilbur Scoville. He suffered for his science. Mr. Wilbur Scoville, who came up with the Scoville scale. I would say he's the father of peppers. I don't know. That's just my opinion. And I still think it's the most accurate way to test chili peppers. As you can see, we kind of touched on it a little bit in the excerpt that you saw in that interview. We do go into a little bit more detail about how to test chilies, and he tells a great anecdote about some testing that's going on at the moment. But testing the way that Wilbur Scoville did it, so basically the Scoville scale is, in case you didn't know, the Scoville scale is basically diluting a substance, in this case chilies, diluting an essence of the chili until you cannot detect it anymore with sugar water. That's what he used in his experiments. So when you're talking about something that has 1 million Scoville, right, that's basically saying that you've got 1 drop of this essence of whatever chili, so let's say the 7-pot Primo, you got 1 drop of the 7-pot Primo, and you got 1 million drops of sugar water. At that stage, you can no longer detect the 7-pot Primo. That hopefully puts that into context of how hot these things actually are. When you talk about a Tabasco being 5,000 Scoville, you know, yeah, that still sounds pretty hectic, right? 1 drop of a Tabasco in 5,000 drops of sugar water. But when you start talking about 1 million, 1.5 million, 2 million, yeah, that's hopefully that puts things into perspective. Sam Hudson, every time I put Primo seeds, so Sam asks, do you have Primo seeds in your store soon? So I'm talking with Primo about getting his seeds out here and me growing it on and selling it. And yeah, I'll be pushing money back his way if I do that. At the moment, I do sell 7-pot Primo seeds, but it's off a variety that I've been isolating for a little while. I think it's one of his earlier generations. So, I mean, it's still a stable generation. But if you look at the ones that I grow compared to the ones that he's now doing some selective breeding on, it's a little different. Still extremely hot and an amazing plant, but I want to get hold of the seeds that he's currently putting out there, because the chilies that he's isolated now and created, they're phenomenal. It's just a great version of the 7-pot Primo. And yeah, I will be putting more seeds in the store. I need to check when I do my last harvest if I have any nice ripe 7-pot Primos in my isolation bin, and then we'll see if we can get them in there. Mark Garcia, how's that weapons grade hot sauce going? So, weapons grade. There's going to be something a little different. There is going to be, well, there's actually a couple really ridiculously super hot sauces this year. There's one that is definitely hotter than weapons grade, and I mean ridiculously hotter. That one, again, I'm going to be doing one final harvest because these chilies have taken a ton of time to ripen. I'll be doing my final harvest, and then we'll finish off the fermentation. I've been fermenting now for probably the last month and a half, so we just need to do one last addition to that fermentation, and we'll finish it off, and then we'll get that out there. And I want to get it out there before Christmas time, so we'll see. Hopefully in the next few weeks, we'll see. It's a bit of a tough one because I might need to process some raw chilies in there if I don't want to ferment them, but it just depends on how much. If I have a decent harvest of these chilies that I'm using, then I'm going to wait to ferment them through. If it's like a small amount, like 10% of what my overall volume is, then I'll do something a little bit different so we can get it out there a bit quicker. Where is the best place to get official 7-pot Primo seeds in the UK? Unfortunately, there isn't anywhere at the moment. The problem is, so Troy Primo is he's not keen on shipping internationally. It's the same reason that I have issues with it. I try and resolve these issues by actually opening it up and sending seeds out to international buyers, so people in the US and that sort of thing. But hopefully my answer before helps you out. I am looking to get the new variety that he's growing and grow them out and then sell seeds from that, so then you will have a UK supplier. But the challenge that you have is there's some really weird seed laws out there that are seriously restrictive. And that in itself is not the issue. The issue is people that are not very honest about things. They know what the situation is and they use it to their advantage. They go and buy a bunch of seeds, they receive the seeds, and then they say they didn't receive the seeds just to get a refund. And that happens enough times, you're going to stop sending seeds outside your jurisdiction. And that's kind of what happened with Troy. I'm guessing from what we discussed. So, yeah, it's not great. Well, yeah, it's now 6:12. If there's no more questions, I'll wait for a few more seconds here. But hey, Gerard Becker, good to see you on. Two Street Studios, good to see you in there. Nice to see somebody else that is aware of the story. I think more people need to know it. People like Troy Primo, nobody knows about the 7. Well, when I say nobody in comparison to people who know about the Carolina Reaper, nobody really knows who the 7-pot Primo is or who created it, Troy Primo. And I think that's a shame. Excuse me. So I'm hoping that at least one or two of you are going to start growing the 7-pot Primo, and you'll see what an amazing chili it is. And obviously support Troy. I think he deserves it. And go check out our store. He also has a bunch of really great hot sauces. So if you are in the US, again, he only ships to the US, but he has some amazing hot sauces that he uses the 7-pot Primo with. And again, great discussions around hot sauce. In the interview that we did, we probably spoke for about 25-30 minutes just about hot sauces and the creation of them. And he's highly knowledgeable. It was fantastic sharing ideas with him. I think I might have given him a couple tips as well that he's going to take on board. But yeah, very knowledgeable. And it's so nice to have a conversation with someone that just is as passionate about these things as I am. Honestly, when we started the interview, Mrs. ChilliChump ended up walking out after a while because she had to go and do some stuff. But we started the interview at 5 p.m., finished it up at 8, right? It was just after 8. And she was like, what the hell happened there? I was like, yeah, I could have carried on talking forever. I actually had to cut him off. I said, don't you have to go pick up your child? He's like, oh, great, yeah, I need to do that. But yeah, we had a fantastic conversation. Lovely guy. And I'm looking forward to you guys seeing the rest of that interview. So it'll be good. Yeah, December. Wow. So it's Christmas time. The next time I see you, it's going to be 2023. Incredible. There's a few good videos coming out between now and then, so keep an eye out for them. And keep an eye out in my store. I will have some more stuff in there. There's a sauce that should be in stock hopefully in the next week and a half. Not that super hot, well, maybe the super hot, but definitely another one that I've been waiting to put out there for a while as well. Thank you guys so much. Love spending time with you, and it's just been great. I hope that you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Until then, stay spicy. Thank you for watching my live stream today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. To those of you that donated today, thank you so much. You guys are amazing, and it's still humbling for me to see you guys supporting me in that way. And a massive, massive thank you to all my patrons and my YouTube members that support me every month. You guys are what make this channel possible and support me making new videos. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I could never explain how much I appreciate every single one of you. And I look forward to seeing all of you again on the next live stream. Until then, stay spicy.